fun, silly, shebang podcast discussion on a great tone.
Yeah.
I mean, we could talk about Ted the Unabomber.
Yeah,
He died.
He did? Okay, that's good news. That's great news, actually. Well, that's wonderful. Thank you for that news, Boingo Rider. Welcome to Modular Components, everybody.
God damn it.
I am the Vacuuminator, and I am very happy to hear that the Unabomber is dead. This is a good day in America, and it's a good day for me to welcome Boingo Rider to the show. How are you doing,
Okay, I'm Boingo Rider. I'm the one who informed them that the Unabomber was dead.
Thank you so much. Oh my god. You know who also gives me good news sometimes? Snowcone83. What's up, man?
I have no good news to give. Fuck you.
Oh, damn. Well, then, he's certainly he's had a heel turn between this and when we were recording Saturday morning panels earlier. Buster Corp, are you about to kick me through the barbershop window?
No, but I'm about to share this funny meme.
That is a funny meme. Man, we should do that. Yeah. Oh man, let's go to Wisconsin and find him later.
Yeah.
But it's not just the usual group of chuckle fucks tonight. We do have a very special guest joining us all the way from
the
Oh
Unabomber.
my god.
We're talking to the Unabomber's ghost tonight. No, we have an actual fucking guest. But guest, please introduce yourself to the shit show.
My name's Wyatt, aka Wasp Ranger, aka the Sex Man, and I'm here as a guest on this podcast. I'm very happy to be here. I do YouTube stuff like It's Only Magic, my YouTube channel. I do cartoon retrospectives like that. I do a podcast, Buster, from this podcast. We talk about OKKO, which is my favorite Western cartoon.
Same.
And I'm just an all-around, I'm a fan of Kusatsu. I'm a fan of the Transformers.
You're what we like to call good people.
Yeah, I have many toys, so many toys.
Little
all
plastic
surrounding
dads
me at
just
all
everywhere.
Excellent.
My shelves.
Right now, within arm's reach, I have Rise of the Beast RC and Classified Serpentor. So
I have right in front of me, my line of vision is a huge. I have two shelves of toys right above my computer desk, and there's the two Clerks in action figure, Dante and Randall in box.
Oh, neat.
There's a Radoku's no Ha figure, a Figma, all the Metroid amiibos, every single one of them.
Yo!
Including a Samus Figma. There's Snag here from Long Gulch. Lincoln Tetra from Wind Waker. Panini Chowder. Mung Doll.
This is just the modular media equivalent of a guest coming out and going, "Yo, local sports team."
Yeah,
It's the cheap pop. It's the cheap pop.
The newest addition to my shelf was something that I found on Twitter. Somebody was selling it on Twitter. It's the Kotobukiya Bishojo figure of Luna from Friendship is Magic here. So it's like a humanized version of her, and then it also comes with a second figure that's just a regular horse version of her. So very beautiful. Got it on a good price because these figures are expensive as hell now. But I saw somebody selling it on Twitter, and I had recently just finished the final two of the show after being away from it for a long time, and really enjoyed them and wanted to buy back some love, for some of those formative memories on the internet.
Yeah. Oh man, the pony days. What a time gone by.
Yeah.
I say that. The rest of these guys don't know. I'm pretty sure Wyatt and I are the only ones who were bronies.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you were a brony. I was friends with a real life brony.
Okay, but that doesn't change. That doesn't equate to being there. You didn't.
Yeah.
You didn't watch it happen. You didn't see it happen.
I was watching it weekly up within 7, and then after the movie, I fell off. Not because I actually did like the premiere of season 8, but it was just for whatever reason life got in the way.
I fell off around the time of Equestria, the first Equestria Girls.
So that was right after was when that began. So
because that movie felt like, and I know they've made an actual movie that's supposed to be this now, but to me at the time, Equestria Girls felt like the Transformers the movie 1986 of My Little Pony.
Yeah.
Did they kill off a pony in that movie? In a very dramatic.
It's just this vibe of we're playing all the hits and this is a fun, cozy time.
Is Weird Al in it?
Really like the I like.
Well, Weird Al's in the show.
Yes, Weird Al is in he shows up in the 4th season, and then he shows up again at the final season, and then in the final episode, it's confirmed he's had sex with Pinkie Pie,
Oh my God.
which is a crazy thing to have.
Weird Al is
thrown in our
confirmed to
lap.
be a horse fucker.
Yes.
Is this a lie to me right now?
Is
No,
Weird
I'm
Al,
lying.
no, here's the thing. Is Weird Al a horse fucker? If in that universe, Weird Al is a horse.
Yeah.
Then it's just regular fucking.
That's true. That is true. But he on Twitter, he did deny the horse fucking allegations after the final episode aired.
Oh,
saying
what a
that,
little
like,
bitch.
I never had sexual relations with a horse.
Oh my God. That's kind of great.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's one of those things where
A platypus, however.
like you don't realize how like impactful the show is to like everything in your life, like everything you make creatively and how you like think and talk about like cartoons and
Yeah, you let
until,
stuff
like-
in and do it, and it'll worm its way into all facets of your being.
yeah. So like coming back to it after a few years of being away, and like maybe like cooling off, like by the end feeling like cold on it, but then coming back and kind of reigniting that flame and realizing like what, fuck you, all 9 seasons are good.
Oh,
And then being like, just like reigniting that love again, just like realizing like, I don't know, like it truly is a special show, even in the landscape of cartoons today, where there's a lot of great stuff. Like I feel like the past couple of years has had some shows
that unfortunately have gone really under the radar because streaming services suck at promoting shit.
Yes.
and I mean, like, I've heard people say that in the past, but I didn't really like understand it until I took a look at your channel today and just all the stuff you name dropped that I'd never even heard of. Like, people say all the time, like, oh yeah, Owl House, Infinity Train, fucking Global Florb. But you brought up
You always talk about
Harvey
the
Beaks, which
funsies.
Harvey Beaks and what is it, the Hanna-Barbera homage show? Yeah, I had heard about those, but I had seen nothing of them, and I didn't know anything about their quality until I was watching your videos today.
Harvey Beaks, I gotta make an entire, like, it's been a hard year, so I haven't had the mental energy to make a video in a long time, but when I get back to it, I definitely want to talk about Harvey Beaks at some point, just because it's like a perfect show. It's crazy how good it is. And I love Chowder. Chowder's one of my favorite. And C.H. Greenblatt in general, I think, is like hilarious. Like all episodes of SpongeBob are like the best episodes of SpongeBob. Like the Krabby Patty training video is my favorite episode.
That's him?
Of SpongeBob. Yeah, there was him and Aaron Springer. Like that was Greenblatt and Aaron Springer were board partners. Aaron Springer, he went on to do Korgoth. He did that pilot for Adult Swim. Unfortunately, it was never picked up, though it's awesome. And then he did Billy Dilly's Subterranean Summer, whatever that show.
Oh yeah,
it has
that
a weird
one.
name. But, which I've not seen, but I imagine it's funny because.
So you were just like the Western animation encyclopedia, huh?
I mean, that's why I make these YouTube videos. It's to like get out the info out of my brain onto the into the video, into other people.
That's kind of like what I tried to do with the Toku stuff.
Yeah, I like some of the like as far as like TV Toku, I'm like a little bit knowledgeable. Like I love TV Tokusatsu. Like there are some times where it's like I know the hits. I know your Kazuya Kamihura, and I know those. I know your Yasuko Kobayashi's. I know like names.
Yuya Takahashi.
Yeah, I love X-Aid and Geats. 01 less so, but but I do love. But X-Aid, big thumbs up.
X-Aid just hit like a certain great little framework for all of its stuff.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, like Boingo had his profile pic on Discord for a while, just like for years, be Dan Karuto. So clearly hit for him.
Dan is the man.
Yeah, like Kuroto, definitely one of the greatest villains / heroes ? To ever appear in any Kamen Rider show.
Anti-hero, I think we'll put it at that point.
I mean, he's one of the only humans in all of Tokusatsu that they've made 2 SH figure arts for.
Yeah, which is great. Oh man, I remember way back in the day, Hana from Den-O getting one, and it looked horrible because they did like
they tried to make it look like it was from an anime.
Yeah, but she still had like kind of like the proportions of like the figure arts at that time looked weird in general. Like they had very weird.
Yeah,
it was just like it looked like a very bad Figma. So
they were
I
good
do have
action
some-
figures. They just weren't good replicas of what was in the show at that point.
Yeah, I have some of the Deno ones. Like I have the liner form. Looking up at my liner form, Zero Nose. But
Also, probably doesn't help that like those early ones were all like SJ's figure art started with Rider suit figures, so like the articulation was designed around bigger, bulkier suits.
Yeah, I remember like when it started to move away from Rider and Sentai into like other stuff. I was like, oh, you don't know that SH is so Chakhin, right? Like, what is transforming about this? You know, whatever. Like,
It's weird to remind like Western fans of things now. Like, dude, I'm glad you're happy about your new MCU figure art, but you do know that started as a Kamen Rider toy line, right?
Exactly.
What's Kamen Rider? Is that related to Power Rangers?
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, why don't you just come around back right now, and I'm going to tell you all about it.
I do. You know, I do have like, you know, I have a good amount of Figma. I have a good. Mostly the figure arts are just Kamen Rider, and then some Dragon Ball ones I have over here in the corner. I'm pointing to.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, right there.
Podcast is an audio medium.
It's a really nice layout you got going. I really like that thing over there in the corner.
I have I'm just gonna point out all the toys on my shelf. This is what the whole podcast. But I got the Gutokuru Noriko from Gunbuster. So it's like a very tall Noriko figure, arms folded, everything. Next to the
Man, I gotta get some Gunbuster merch.
Yeah, the Super Robot Shogoki Gunbuster.
Ooh.
And then I have the two, like there's the Revoltech Gunbuster. I got that, and that one kind of like the robot actually kind of sucks, but if you can take it apart and turn it into Buster Machine. So I just use that as like I have that figure as a display for those the Buster Machine 2, and then the Super Robot Shogoki as like the representation of just Gunbuster itself. I don't know,
That would tick off so many people I know to hear that a Super Robot Shogoken is being used as like a display accent for something else.
It happens.
I mean, it's an awesome figure. So, but yeah, it's just like my bottom shelf here is all the like cheaper toys that I have, and then my top shelf is all my top shelf stuff. So it's like all the figure arts
shelf.
and yeah, I know. Figure arts. I mean, the Noriko one's probably the most expensive. Though I do have the like the you know how they did like the more accurate figures.
Oh, so Choku Seiho?
Yeah. The Shinchoko. Yeah. I have that for Hibiki. It's a beautiful, like Hibiki is such a cool suit. So like, even if I've hadn't too many episodes, like I still wanted to have the figure.
It's a good show for a while.
Yeah, I've heard it gets really bad.
Oh yeah, like I wasn't even prepared for how bad it got. Honestly,
Yeah.
like
I have yet to face the music.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say I also have like questionable taste in media. I'll say.
yeah,
You know,
I mean, you found weren't you the one like I completely forgot? Weren't you the one who found like all 4 seasons of Star fine and like didn't
Yes,
really get?
actually, and I think the third one's the best one. So like the season where everybody thinks it all goes to shit. I'm like, I don't know.
Meanwhile, I'm just like it went to shit even further, but that's
yeah. You're like
The shit increased 5,000-fold that day.
Yeah.
The
but
day
yeah,
the
I
shit
enjoy all
comes to town.
not to say it's a perfect show by any means, but like nothing about it like made me hit by the end. You know,
Yeah.
so like even the ending, like I thought was more mediocre than it was like frustrating or anything like
Yeah.
that. But the season 3 though, I think that was like a really good shining point. Like the final fight between Star and Meteora is just so awesome. I remember watching the person who did the storyboards for it. I can't remember her name, but
Ooh.
she uploaded some of the storyboards she did for Star on her website, like Folio, and just watching the boards, I was like, this is amazing. I can't believe how talented like some like board artists are to be able to like convey this action this clearly with such simple drawing. So
It's like storyboard artists don't get enough credit. They're like the blueprinters of all the cool action and like cool dialogue we get in these cartoons.
yeah, for sure. Especially in like board driven shows where they're also the writers essentially for the episodes. They're given an outline and they have to like, write the dialogue and write like the arc of
and
the
that was like a
episode.
success to like modern SpongeBob, where it's like it became board driven, is what I'm hearing. Like, or I could be wrong because I think like didn't season 9B like shook up the way the show was. Please correct me if I'm wrong.
I do not know because I don't follow SpongeBob anymore, but I know
I think
like
Nintendo said something about that.
yeah, I know like there are some people that I know that SpongeBob pretty like seriously they still follow it. You know, I'm one of those people that fell off in like I want to say season 5, maybe like after Greenblatt left.
I don't even know enough about SpongeBob to know where I fell off.
Yeah, exactly. Like
it's like it's such a childhood thing to me that I just couldn't tell you beyond like if you say an episode, I'll tell you if I've seen it or not, or if I remember seeing it or not. And I definitely know I've seen the first movie.
Mm.
The second movie's pretty good.
The Simpsons, I'm the same way with. Where like until recently, I didn't know a lot about the structure of this, like what episode season. So watching or listening to Talking Simpsons, that podcast, there's a lot of times where they're talking about like some 13 episodes. Oh, I know this once I've watched it, you know, when it was new. and I thought it was like, oh yeah, of course, that classic episode, but really it's like firmly in the bad era of The Simpsons. So
from everything I've ever heard about The Simpsons, much less of like directly like this is all bad, and just more of like it's just waning in quality more and more as it goes on.
Yes, exactly. So and I think like there's a attraction to going like, all right, let's see for ourselves. Surely there's good episodes in all of this, and then like there's that, but like there's just so much. I don't want to watch that many episodes. Okay,
yeah, it's like asking me to watch the Naruto anime.
Yeah, just
read it.
Yes, read 700 chapters of the manga. So.
You say that as if two of the people
chapters of One Piece.
Read One Piece.
I'm not going to.
You'd like it.
Yeah.
I don't care.
You just sound like a person who won't eat their vegetables, and I'm sorry for that.
Damn right I won't. Actually, broccoli is delicious. Do we have any broccoli right now?
Did you know broccoli? Did you know broccoli's technically cabbage?
Is it?
Yeah, it's related. It's all broccoli, cauliflower, and cabbage are all the same plant.
I mean, I like cabbage too, so that doesn't upset me too much.
Those all are tasty. Oh.
Yeah. Well, it's just people were like, "Oh, we can eat cabbage flowers. What if we made the flowers more of a thing?" And that's how you get cauliflower and broccoli.
Yeah.
You ever have corned beef and broccoli? This is a food podcast now.
Yeah. Not corn.
Ooh,
no,
shepherd's
I have
pie.
not had corned beef.
Ooh,
shepherd's pie. Holy shit.
I do usually like to have steamed broccoli if I get like a steak at a restaurant.
Yeah.
So like that's
or like a big piece of chicken.
See, my go-to like vegetable with steak is like asparagus.
Asparagus is really good. Yeah, if that's an option, I'll get that and like Brussels sprouts. But you know, like broccoli, usually that's like if you're going to a cheaper place that just has steak, then that's usually like a reliable.
I used to like asparagus, but then there was like a 6-month period where almost every night my mom made fish and asparagus.
Yeah, and then my piece rare now, so
yeah,
I don't know about that.
That happened to me with peanut butter and jelly.
What?
Yeah, anyway.
Peanut butter and jelly.
Not the piss thing, but the
too much. I was like, how does that work?
It's peanut butter jelly time.
I put the pea in peanut butter, man. I don't know.
you just piss a sandwich.
Yeah.
So, like, I guess it's that time of the guest episode where I ask, Vac, what do you think about the guest content, and what do you think their strengths are?
Are you asking me to review Wyatt's channel right now?
You know, just, like, give your thoughts.
Please do.
I mean, I didn't watch everything. I watched just, like, a smattering of videos that were on topics that interested me. And I think you are, generally speaking, a good content creator. I think you make solid stuff. I don't know if you're like always 100% on track to having great standalone videos. Your videos inform each other really well, but sometimes you will be talking about something and I'll feel like the video is almost at a conclusion, and then there will be 5 minutes left of you talking about something that is related, but is sort of like away from the point you were making, and I'm like, this could have been a separate video, bud.
Yeah, that's thank you so much. That's exactly what I'm trying to do with my videos, is just make them complete nightmares for people to watch. So like there one video that I constantly, like every so often I'll get a comment on the Megas XLR video, because I begin the video with like 6 or 7 minutes just talking about Tony Hawk, because I don't want to, like, these videos are not reviews of the shows in question. They contain elements of reviewing in them, but they're just my own personal thoughts and feelings about like the show and what it means to me, which I consider two distinctly different things. You know, so it's like a personal retrospective. That's how I always call it. In that, like, I feel like setting the stage of what was going on in my life or like why it appealed to me is like just as important as talking about the show itself. So like with that Megas video, I wanted to talk about like, oh, what was I doing at the time that show was like, you know, like, oh, I would watch Toonami and then there would be, you know, an episode of something I didn't care about airing, and then I would switch over to the auxiliary channel and play my PS2 and play Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4. And then like, oh, but I gotta make sure to change it back when it hits 8:30 because Megs XLR is coming on. So like giving, like, that's why I wanted to set the stage talking about that. And like very similarly with the script I'm currently writing about Stormhawks. Like the first like 6 or 7 minutes of this, like the first like 2,000 words of the script are me talking about like CGI cartoons in general and Jak and Daxter, the video game. So it's like, and then I start talking about.
All right, I want you to promise me one thing. If you talk about Code Lyoko, do not make a fucking forehead joke.
I'm not going to talk about Cody.
Thank you.
So you're lucky.
Yeah.
I liked Code Lyoko fine, but like
it's too French.
I do. There's some French shows that I like. I like Wakfu. And well, I like Dofu.
That name always just it just sounds dirty.
Yeah.
Well, and then there's Dofu, the other show. I mean, they're both based on games, but whatever. I think Wakfu like got stupid or something as it went on, but I don't know. Personally, I only watched the first of it, and these were in like high school, so it was a long time ago. But Code Lyoko like is an interesting thing because it's mostly 2D, and then occasionally, and then it has like in the tone and everything, like it's cool. But I just prefer the shows like Stormhawks or like Beast Wars, where it's a 100% three-dimensional world that you're in at all times. Like that kind of thing.
I mean, that's valid.
I won't get into it too deep here just to not spoil the video entirely. But yeah, I mean, I've definitely had people give me the criticism. Wyatt, you gotta like stick to the topic. You know, you gotta do whatever. But like, you know,
I mean, like, I don't really mind the personal history stuff so much. It's just like when you start making a point about another show that's tangentially related to the show you're talking about. I'm trying to remember like a specific example because I know there was something that sent me down this
video. I started talking about.
Oh yeah,
Harvey B.
Yeah, because I was like, that's all interesting, but I don't know if that belongs in this Chowder retrospective.
Yeah, don't worry, I'll talk about those shows in the future.
I look forward to it.
I mean, I hope so.
Because I did like your Chowder video. I think that was my favorite of the videos I watched.
I'm glad because I put a lot of effort into that, and then like nobody watched it. So
I mean, I have Chowder is one of those shows that like my sister and I watched all the time when we were kids. Mm-hmm. And it hasn't really stuck with me as an adult, but whenever somebody brings it up or like I see iconography from it again, I'm like, oh yeah, Chowder, that was a good time.
Yeah, I definitely consider the videos, you know, obviously it's a hobby thing. I'm not expecting or gain any fame or notoriety off of these videos. I really am just doing it. Like literally what I said before, I just need to get the screaming out of my brain, you know, like that's the purpose that they serve. They basically exist for that. I just hope that other people that are like me can watch them and then have like something to relate to or something to like give them the vocabulary to talk about what they want to talk about. Yeah. That's part of like in the Gurren Lagann video I made. That's kind of like how I end it, where I'm like, yeah, it's my favorite show of all time, but I'm doing this video not just to tell you about how epic Gurren Lagann is, but just to tell you like how to talk about your favorite show of all time, or like why you can acknowledge like there's flaws in Gurren Lagann. There's plenty of stuff that I don't like in the show, but that doesn't stop it from being my favorite show of all time. And like that doesn't need to stop you, you know, that show that you think is your favorite of all time, but then somebody on the internet said, oh, but this like sucks, or you know, blah blah blah, the characters are off model, you know, any of that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like I appreciate, like, I'm not trying to be defensive, I guess, about my about the criticism. I totally appreciate it. I get where you're coming from because I agree. But like at the end of the day, the videos are just like the scripts go where they go. You know, like I don't.
You're more stream of conscious.
Yes, I don't do second drafts for the scripts. I just write the script and then I'll do like corrections as I see necessary when I'm recording. But I just like to get the ideas all out at once and then record them. And I usually only do like a few like per line. Like sometimes I don't even do like multiple takes when I'm recording because I just like get the line fine. These videos are very like they're supposed to be easy to be done. Though I do put like enough effort into them. Honestly, the most annoying part about making a video is editing it for me. Writing is very easy. Recording is very easy. I love the sound of my own. That's why I do podcasts. But that's why I'm talking so much on this one. But editing is just a complete nightmare. It's just like so tedious and boring. And like I can do it, but like the production always crawls to like such a slow pace once I get to the editing portion of it. For podcasts, that's not a big deal. Usually there's not much editing that really needs to go into them unless like just like mixing it better and cutting out some lines or whatever, like where somebody goes to the bathroom or something like that. But like with a video, you really need to be like, it has to be tightly and that can be really annoying, especially like the copyright on YouTube. Like that it always fucking gets me. Every single, no matter how short I cut the clips, they will always like be, clocked for copyright.
Yeah, copyright is just impossible these days.
Yeah, that's why I use, if I may talk about my own video process, that's why I use like images for like all the Toku shits. It's because, well, I don't want to risk it anymore. Like I'm just, no, you get Google Slideshow and you will like it.
I kind of want to do that when I come back to making videos. I can do it that way.
It's the big problem is just the time it takes to just go like getting all the good photos.
Yeah, I mean, I use Google Images, and that mostly works. But for older shows or more obscure shows, I have to go out of my way. Like the voice logger video, I had to take all those screenshots myself. So
yeah, I mean, it's a relatively easy process getting the episode. Of the show. Like I'm in a Discord, and like I can just go to the download section and say, hey, give me this series, and then somebody will within minutes just upload, like give me a link to a mega file of that entire series. So that's like, that is convenient, and that like helps streamline the process.
Yeah, it's not getting the video that's hard, it's like editing it to make it copyright free.
Yeah, so like getting that stuff wouldn't be too hard, and then screenshotting it might be difficult. But yeah, maybe I'll do that when I do that. I don't know, who the fuck cares? Like, is Wild Brain gonna get on my ass about Stormhawks?
Maybe.
I doubt it.
We'll see. It depends.
Does Wild Brain even exist anymore? I forgot that was a production company.
They don't. No, they're a licensing company. They own a bunch of like random fucking things. Like they own an absurd amount of stuff.
Let me freaking get all of it. What they
they have like a lot of DHX stuff and a lot of Canadian stuff in general. They just have like the rights because cheap, and then they just like upload all their stuff onto you. A lot of the times, I follow a few of the like Wild Brain owned channels that upload some stuff.
Yeah, they own all the old Sonic cartoons. I think they're also doing Sonic Prime. Oh yeah, they are doing Sonic Prime. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Which I do not like. Don't put it that way.
Yeah. You know what? There was a new Sonic game that was.
Oh yeah, I want to talk to you about that. Superstars. I'm really excited for Superstars.
Yeah, I'm a huge Sonic fan. As you might have, like, generally nerdy guy, has proclivities in certain directions, we'll say, definitely a Sonic fan. So
wait, first question, how do you feel about Frontiers before we get into Superstars?
Frontiers I've never actually played. I have not played Frontiers yet. My first opinions on it were very lukewarm, just because I wasn't very interested in the idea of an old Sonic game.
Yeah. It is kind of like a first draft of that idea from what I've played. Like, I beat the game, but but it's still, I still think it's one of the funnest Sonic games out there, fully for the combat.
I've heard fans and things like talk about how good it is and mention things like the writing or the story as being like positive. So I definitely want to get around to it. I might get around to it before the game comes out.
Yeah,
because
or
it's
like
put
there's
me-
still updates for Frontiers coming that will add like new
Yeah.
content. So you know,
But yeah, I have the Sonic bug inside me again because stars. I just love the 2D game a lot. I'm a
Yeah.
huge Genesis fan, and I have like quite a big Genesis collection. And the Sonic games, those are pretty easy to get, so it's not like impressive. But I have all of them on Genesis, and like at least a couple times a year, I like to play through like Sonic 2 and Sonic 3, Sonic 1. But that one's kind of
like
hard
my
to go
thing
back
about
to.
replaying Sonic 3 is I hate the special stages, and I feel like the
I
need
love
to.
this. I
That's
understand. I
they
understand
make
the
me
hate.
sick.
Yeah, exactly. They're very motion sick. I don't
Yeah.
like them in 2.
Honestly,
just
the
'cause-
only way I've been able to like get all the emeralds in Sonic is with the Origins collection because I can keep retrying the segments, so that's
Yeah,
fun.
yeah.
And I know like the Origins collection, it started a bit busted, but it works for what it is. So
Yeah,
it
definitely
was
wanna
just too
give-
overpriced.
There's like the updated version that came out, or
Oh,
is
it's coming out. Yeah.
Yes, so I want to check that out.
Yeah.
With the Ords collection, because I like the idea of playing the Sonic games in 16:9. That's nice.
Yeah. It's
I
all
have
the
played-
mobile ports, and the mobile ports are good.
Yeah,
I've experienced it
yeah.
firsthand.
I've played Sonic 3 Air.
Oh yeah, I
which
did
is-
try that before Origins, and I don't,
which is-
Air is still
I really
better,
enjoy.
but like,
Yes, especially because it has the actual.
yeah, it's a shame about the Origins music. I mean, like, I
Yeah.
don't even play Switch games with my music on because it's like battery and stuff,
Mm.
and also just I don't have headphones for the Switch, and it's a portable
Yeah.
system, and I don't want to annoy people. So it's like that didn't bug me, but I know for people who love Sonic 3's music, that's like, oh yeah,
Yeah, I'm a big just the Sonic music. Huge,
oh yeah.
huge fan.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
the game looks
Superstars. Yeah, looks like, and it's surprising to me that it's developed by both Sonic Team and Arzest, because both of them, in terms of 2D, haven't had good track record. But from all the hands-on impressions I've got, it's like no, the physics are good. The physics feel
Yeah,
like
'cause-
Mania.
Because I felt like the 2D stages, colors and generation stuff
Yeah.
weren't great. Like they didn't like they felt fine, like at the time, but now that we've
They
had
feel a
stuff
bit
like
clunk.
Mania, it's
Yeah.
like a little bit clunky compared to the physics original game.
Yeah,
And,
and it's like
this-
so. Just hearing those hands-on report that yes, it feels right. That's super exciting, and also
Yeah.
just local multiplayer. That's cute. I
Yeah.
wish it was online though.
I know it was Dimps who developed Sonic.
Yeah.
So and they
They should stick to fighting games.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Yeah,
here's the
just
thing:
stick to
Dimps
Budokai.
didn't just do Sonic 4; they did a lot of stuff.
Yes, well, that's what I was gonna say is that they did Sonic 4, which is surprising because they also did the advanced
Rush.
game and the Rush game. So, like in the advanced games, like I have problems with them; they're not great, but like they still are competently made games.
With
Whereas, like,
physics.
Sonic 4, like I don't know what went wrong. with
Like
Sonic 4.
apparently it was supposed to be a mobile game, from what I heard.
It looks like it. It looks like a mobile game. So it's like
Yeah.
the fact that they put like in the exact way that a mobile game from like 2009 looked. So I don't know.
yeah.
But the new one looks a lot better. It seems like it feels a lot better.
Yeah, I'm just
I-
excited for like the potential Arzest redemption arc because like the last two
Yeah.
big games I know Arzest for was Yoshi's New Island, which is has one of the worst soundtracks ever in like a funny sense, and freaking Bow on Wonderworld.
Yes.
So-
And now, well, I mean, now, Yuji Naka is behind bars.
Yeah, so they can't. Yuji Naka can't hurt him anymore.
Yeah.
I have understood some of these words.
Yeah, sorry, we're just talking
Yes.
about the new Sonic game that got revealed at Summer
Yeah.
Games
Ours,
Fest.
that's their.
It's
They're
fine.
like, are they related? Yeah, they're related. They're like formed from R2, and they did stuff like they did like and things like that, right?
Yeah, I'm looking at their Wikipedia right now.
Yeah.
Like apparently now the reason they got the job Naoto Oshima, the character designer for Sonic, is their vice president.
Yeah, great.
Well, damn.
I mean, and I'm just excited for new stuff for
Yeah.
Sonic. Like in that classic Sonic.
Yeah, I like
world.
that. Like they're still keeping the classic design going. Like,
Mhm.
but they're still like willing. Like, we're still gonna move ahead. You both.
Yeah.
We're gonna please both sides.
Yeah, I'll like in 2D games, I'm totally fine with like Sonic, like there being a classic Sonic and him not talking or whatever. I always thought it was stupid especially in Forces that
Yeah,
Classic
which
Sonic was
didn't
even
need
there.
it.
But like the fact that he doesn't talk, but then like Eggman and Tails talk, like what's going on? Why don't you get Julia White to voice Sonic? Come on.
Yeah.
Get him back. Bring him back.
Either way, it just like Forces was a weird time.
I enjoy Sonic Colors.
Yeah, Colors is good. I replayed
I
it
enjoy
like
too.
in 2020, I think it was
Mhm.
when the Ultimate Edition came out, and I still have it on Steam because they did do a Steam port, and I do want to replay it on Steam. But like it was like a fine port. Like it wasn't as bad as people said, but like it could have been better. But like it's still Sonic Colors. It's still one of my favorite games. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I see somebody drew the Samus Returns Samus in the
Yeah,
chat here.
Boy Go's tried to draw
Nice.
more as like while
Cool.
podcasting, so that's cool.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the like
The
big
Metroid,
bulky.
yeah.
Well, yeah, Metroid, but like the big Samus like from Samus Returns, like just so chunky looking. So shoulders are like she looks very like robot-y.
Big old
And,
mecha mommy.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Oh, have I struck a nerve?
Somewhat of well, yeah. I'll just say that I'm a fan of the mothers, all the mamas out there, but
I agree.
Samus-
When is Mother Free coming to America,
Yeah.
Reggie?
But Samus is off limits for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So like, no sexual attraction towards Samus. Purely like, I think that comes from the fact that Metroid is my favorite game. And it's just like it's too important to me to have that
Be
kind of
horny
connection to it. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
I know some people do.
I
and
wish
that's
I had the
fine.
capability for that kind of mental block.
This guy.
as I keep egging you on with Cammy fucking bullshit.
I'm not gonna play it. I swear. I'm gonna be a good boy.
Play Street Fighter 6. I've already sunk 40 hours into it.
And I would have sunk more if I can play it.
It's enough hours for the both of us, I feel.
Yeah, true. I'm still stuck on the finale of World Tour. I still need to grind out. And speaking of grinding out, that's a terrible way to transition.
What
Grinding it out. Grinding it out, baby.
Questions. For the first time in Modular Components history, we have
social
questions.
media questions.
Yeah, on Twitter.
Pew, pew, pew.
Yeah, so I guess we'll start with a basic one these are for Wyatt specifically. What is the best part of Beast Machines? From @GayBoomhammer.
All right. Well, let's say okay. So Cody, that's who that is, and we do Robots and Disgusting. Years ago, this must have been like 2017, 2016. We watched all of Beast when we watched all of Beast Machines together.
Oh, you poor souls.
And Beast Machines is quite bad.
Yeah.
Though to be fair to it, I have not watched it since then. So it's been a long time since I watched it, but I've watched it multiple times throughout my life.
Wait.
I think that's enough.
Is this Cody Briscoe?
Yes.
Holy fuck, I know this guy. I haven't talked to this guy in years. What the fuck is up, Cody?
Okay, all right. Yeah.
It's a small world after all.
Yeah.
There you go. But yeah, so Cody and I, we have our, like I said, we have a bonus podcast that we did on the Explode When Defeated Patreon, Robots and Discuss. So Cody is not as big of a Transformers fan as me, but I've roped him into watching a bunch of shows. Like we watched animated as well. We watched Beast Wars, like I mentioned. I want to watch more, but I feel like I forced him to suffer enough with the Michael Bay movie.
I mean, hey, maybe he'll like our Spark.
Oh, you can make him suffer more. Force him through Kiss Players.
No!
I mean, but that's not a show, right? That's just a manga.
Yeah.
No, it's a radio drama.
Well, yeah, it wasn't, but there was art for it. I remember because of long nights on the TF Wiki.
Oh no!
Going and no, this is not me saying no. Don't get it twisted. Not saying I enjoy Kiss Players. Just saying that I know of it because of
the TF Wiki. Yeah, I know you didn't mean it that way.
Yeah, but just for the listeners, no cooming here.
We did not hire a sex pervert.
Yes. And all of it seems very illegal. But Beast Machines, that's one of the Beast Wars is one of my favorite shows ever. And I love it dearly. And Beast Machines just feels like it's taking a big dump on that show and a lot of the characters and the development of that show, especially Like what they do to Rhinox is just extremely
Aw.
depressing.
Everything
Oh,
I hear
yeah.
about Beast Machines is either that or people going, well, if you divorce Beast Machines from Beast Wars, it's a really interesting science fiction story.
It's like I kind of get where they're coming from in like, but at the end of the day, it just feels it's too similar to Reboot, you know, like it's or Tron or something like that. It feels like very like tried and true. Like the only unique thing is that it's transformed, you know, and then like, but it's a sequel to a show, and then all the characters are supposed to maintain that continuity, but they don't feel anything like those characters. The tone just feels way different. It's just a weird show altogether. Again,
But what is the best part?
the best part of Beast, probably controversially, I'll say the animation is the best part of Beast
Ooh.
Machines. I think the show, like the character designs look awful, but like I think the style, the lighting especially, is like incredible. I can't believe how good it is for a show
Yeah.
that old. And like CGI animation now is still like having a hard time looking good. Because like you get some stuff that's stylized, that looks great. So stuff like Tron Uprising looks great because it's really stylized.
Motor City. No, is Motor City is 2 days? Is
no,
that
that
2
was-
days?
that
Oh,
was
Detroit Motor
rigged.
City. Wow.
No, the Motor City was rigged, but it was around the same time as Tron Uprising. There's stuff like Battle Kitty has like a really awesome art style to it, but then there's stuff like some of the DreamWorks shows look awful, like the Kung Fu Panda show that just came out. The Dragon Knight looks terrible. And it sucks because it's the first Kung Fu Panda show with Jack Black as Poe.
Yeah.
I was really excited for that, and then I watched the show and I'm like, ugh. Why is this
There have been
like
multiple Kung Fu Panda shows?
Yeah, there's
Yes.
Legends of Awesomeness on Nickelodeon.
and then there's like the Paws of Fear, something like there's
There's
one
like something on Amazon Prime.
yeah, on Amazon Prime, and then this one is on Netflix. It came out last year. So
I assumed it was all the same show somehow.
yeah, I mean that's how I feel about Ninjago.
Yeah, because they keep putting out Ninjago shows.
Ninjago
But,
and the Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
But that being said, shows like Troll Hunters, like the Tales of Arcadia shows, like look great. Like they're well animated, they have good lighting.
Yeah.
So it's like they visually look good. But like CGI animation in general still has a hard time looking good. Like the Generation 5 My Little Pony, like the first batch of episodes looked so bad. Like it looked like Coco Melon. Like it looked like a fake show. And then like the most recent batch of episodes that came out earlier this week that I all
Don't
watched,
you
I watched all
don't
of
you
them,
be
of course.
dissing Coco Melon. That shit shuts my nephew the fuck up.
You know, there you go. It serves a valuable purpose. But you know, but yeah, like I think that the reason why it feels better isn't just like that quote unquote animation is better. It's like the lighting was really improved. And so like the models look better. So I don't know, like that stuff is really good and looks good. Character models like themselves look bad in my opinion. There might be
they're
some
awful.
people.
Is it? I mean,
There's
isn't
people out
this just
there-
trying to replicate the toys, which were very distinct in style and just hard to replicate?
I think with that show, it really feels like they came up with the character designs first, and then they made the toys based on those character designs. I don't know if this is true, probably not, but it just looks like it. Like it looks like they put a lot of effort into.
Somebody go ask Aaron Archer.
All right.
Yeah, well, yeah, we'll ask Aaron Archer real quick. But like it looks like they put a lot of effort into the character designs, and then the toys are like really half-assed looking compared to the models in the show.
And even then, I just do not care for the characters. They look so like weird and like they freaking look like a Stranger Danger ass
Yeah.
Transformers.
I like
Yeah,
how
they-
the toys look cool. I've seen
Yeah.
some of the Beast Machines toys.
But the toys don't look very much like the characters in the show. is what I'm
Probably
saying.
for the
Like,
best.
They have the general like shape or whatever. Also, like I don't know the the idea of having Transformers was solely on Cybertron. That's a cool idea, but like the transforming aspect of them, especially with the Transformers, what purpose does this serve? You know, like they're not blending into anything. You know, I guess you could say that with Beast
We're
Wars,
selling
'cause
toys, Wyatt.
that's true. I mean, that's what it's all about. But I wish
I
they would sell
like
more
the,
toys.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
'cause-
I was a fan of the designs for the show personally,
Of Beast
especially when it was
Machines.
coming out. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, when I was 6 years old or whatever and watching it, I was super into it. And I thought it was like cool that it was like darker and Rhinox is evil now, and all that stuff. But
See, even when I first saw Beast Machines, I already watched like Beast Wars on YouTube. When I first saw like Beast Machines, I'm like, what the hell did they do? I was like, I'm from day one. I've been a Beast Machines hater.
yeah, it was
And,
just
like-
when I became a cynical teenager and watched it again, I hated it. And then like as I grew older, going back to it, trying to give it another chance, I still hated it.
Yeah.
So but I don't know if that's how I feel now. So that's why I'm not making any declarative statement about like
Yeah.
the overall quality of the show.
That's fair.
It's just like, and that's why I'm trying to be very careful in saying like I don't like the character designs, but I know that there are people that really do like them, and they do like the tone of the show.
And they are free to be wrong.
Yeah, I mean, they're free to have their taste.
Yeah.
And,
I guess like speaking of taste, like if we may move on to another question, if that's okay. From at Bodega Batty, Bodega_Batty, what would a Metroid look like in a fantasy setting instead of sci-fi, and would it even be interesting to play?
That's a good question.
Isn't
It's
that just
actually-
Zelda?
Yeah.
I think it would. Be
No,
a
it's
pretty-
Castlevania.
Oh.
To me, it's a pretty easy to answer question because Metroid is already a pretty naturalistic world. It has sci-fi elements to it, but as you're exploring, like there's very few like high-tech things that you're finding in Metroid, especially in things like Super Metroid, where Zebes, the planet they're exploring, like the most high-tech area is the final area of Torian. I also don't think that technology and fantasy have to be separate. And I think that Metroid already has a ton of fantasy elements in it. Like it has magic already. Like more abstract sense, the items that you pick up are all magic. But in a more literal sense, there's stuff like in Samus Returns, the Aeon Energy. It's also in Metroid Dread. So there's already like a fantasy bent to Metroid, and I think that's what appeals to me, is that it's like it's sci-fi in the sense that it's going to different planets and finding alien like spaceships and cool stuff like that. And she's in robot armor. But it has like a very naturalistic setting where you're just exploring natural environments and fighting animals, and like the bosses of an area will be like an apex predator rather than like a character with a backstory and a mercenary or whatever, like anything like that. I think that all you need to do is just make the armor like rock armor, and make it like, like make it like super ancient, like golem tech, basically.
Who's Boulder
kind of
Lady?
like magitech type stuff, because like that's already in Metroid with the Torizo statue. The statues that give you the power-ups. Like some of them will come to life and attack you. So yeah, I think that like that could work, and I think like it would retain the same level of quality as long as the same people are designing for it. Like I think Mercury's team has a really good understanding of what makes Metroid fun and exploring in Metroid fun, even more so than fans seem to have, because every fan wants Metroid to be like a completely open game where you can just find any weapon at any point and do whatever.
That's not a game. That's a sandbox.
Yeah, I say like that's fine for Tears of the Kingdom, but with Metroid it's a knot that you're slowly untying, and the world becomes more open the more you explore, but it's never completely open from the word go.
I do understand though the complaints of like you could break the like cycle, like what's the word?
Sequence break. And
Sequence
stuff like
break, and like so
Yes.
like you don't
think
need
that there's a
everything
lot
to
of
be
that.
sequence breakable, but you need like I think
agree.
some wiggle room
Yeah,
would be
Because like Super Metroid is a game that people always go to, and that has like a very deliberate sequence to it, but it also has a lot of nebulous items that you can kind of get at whenever you just find them. Like you'll get a certain upgrade, and then there'll be a point where like, okay, you can get these 3 other upgrades now without having to get anything else. And like there's that level there, and I feel like definitely like Dread has that in it, especially in the second half. You can kind of just do it, and like the final couple bosses for the second half of the game, you could just fight in whatever order. And like there's a lot of sequence breaking that can be done. A lot of it intentional too, but some unintentional. And like that stuff is fun. I think like making a world that has the sequence broken is important, but making it just like an open, like, here you go find what to do thing is not necessarily Metroid's strong suit. It can be, but like people use that argument as a cudgel against games like
You
Metroid
have to
Fusion.
You can't just say make an open game. You have to design an open game.
Yes. Yeah. So like Prime 4, I do not want to be like an open world game, for example. I would prefer it to just be like an expanded version of what we got in Prime's. I think that formula is great. It's a formula that has been like extremely rare. Like I can't think of really any game that has done a similar
There was
formula
like
to
one indie game on the Wii U called B3. It was like it was like E3 but with bees that played like Metroid Prime. It was weird.
I
Yeah,
mean, there's also technically Power Slave.
Yeah, but Power Slave has like a lot of those because Metroid Prime itself is an offshoot of that type of boomer shooter because the people who made Turok made Metroid Prime. Like that company that made Turok became Retro and then
They left and like there's a whole weird story with Retro.
Yeah.
Because
like,
the
Retro
person
Studios?
the person who founded Retro Studios was a fucking weirdo.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Yeah, he like hosted porn, like a porn site
Yeah,
on the servers.
Then he later made the Guy game, that disgusting fricker.
Yeah. So
and basically Nintendo was like, all right, you get rid of this guy or we're not making the game anymore. And Retro was like, all right, bye.
Yeah, they swooped in and like saved
The company.
Prime 1 and then they like wrapped it up very quickly after that, after having like a really excruciating dev cycle until then. And then like 2 had like a relatively easy dev cycle too. Like they were done with the game like very quickly after like finalizing what and people like point out to that as like, oh, crunch must have happened, but all the Retro employees that I've seen interviews of have said like, oh, there was no crunch. Nintendo fixed that problem at the end of Prime 1. 2 and 3 didn't have any problems like that.
Which is
Yeah,
good.
like you never hear about crunch from Nintendo Studios.
Mm.
I'm not sure if it's because they're tight-lipped or because then again they did give an extra year to polish it out. I think the only Nintendo adjacent studio that's crunched is Pokemon, but again, that's a whole other thing.
I would say like crunch probably involved, maybe more so like we just got to get this shit out.
Yeah. Well, then again, like Melee, I think Melee was crunched, at least on Sakurai's end.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
well,
like
crunch definitely exists. Like with Super Metroid, like they stayed overnight, multiple nights. They had to be forced to go home to bathe because they smelled so bad.
Like there's a difference between you need to stay after hours to make this game or you're fired, and you are genuinely invested in this whole thing and you are working in unsafe working conditions and like it's beneficial for us, so we kind of just let it go.
Yeah, that's kind of what the Sakurai is.
Yeah, it's much more, it feels like on certain Japanese companies, not saying all of them, that's kind of more of the what happens of like, we want to get this done and do it, and we're just like work. And then it can just be taken advantage of. Yeah,
I guess speaking of Metroid, for our final question, Wyatt from what's his name, Bolt Creature on Twitter. Wyatt, what do you think about Metroid Prime 4 coming to Nintendo Switch 2?
So this is a
running gag.
If it isn't already obvious, I'm a huge Metroid fan. And I'm obsessed, I'll say, with searching Metroid Prime 4 on Twitter, just on the off chance that there's some fucking rogue rumor or leak that I can coat myself to sleep with about like, this game's coming soon, guys. Don't you worry about that. Because to those who don't know, Metroid Prime 4 was a 19 E3. It was then rebooted from scratch early 2019. Like it was taken from Bandai Namco, who are the developers at the time, given back to Retro, who won the game due to pitching them a remake of the first Prime game.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And then they're like, all right, now develop this. And they're like, well, but we're already developing this remake of the first Prime game. And they said, do them both. So that's why the first one, like that just came out early, has like a bunch of other studios attached to it that aren't Retro. Like they were the main development, but there's a ton.
They needed some grunt work.
Like, the art stuff needed to be done by a lot of other studios while they focused on Prime 4. But Prime 4 is a game that was like, that video came out early in January of 2019. Then the second time it was mentioned was right before Metroid Dread was, and then since, which was E3 2021, so 2 years ago. And then since then, they have not even no peep of Prime 4. Even when they released a remake of the first game, still no peep of Prime 4 at all attached to that.
And probably COVID didn't help either, because
Yes, like COVID stuff, like, so it's not unusual that the game has taken this long to come out. What is unusual is that we haven't like anything about the game, and it's been over 4 years at this point.
Yeah.
So people have a theory that actually the reason we haven't seen it is because it's not being developed for the Switch. It's being developed for the Switch 2. It's being developed for Nintendo's next console. So if they showed any footage of it, that would give away immediately. Like, oh man, it has ray tracing. Oh, it's so blah blah blah. You know, it's in 4K,
Like the next
so
Switch would have ray tracing.
yeah.
Jesus.
So like they think that like showing any footage of it would give away that it would be a next gen game. So they're holding on to it until the reveal of the Switch 2, which people think that it's this year. The Switch 2
this year?
is going
Oh
to be,
no, that ain't
going to
happening,
be-
fellas.
It's going to be revealed and then released in March, like the Switch was. And that Prime 4 is going to be a launch game for the Switch 2 alongside a new 3D Mario game, you know,
I
and
wish.
a new Fire Emblem game. Why not?
I wish. We just
And,
had Engage, so I can wait.
And like, I'm not saying that's impossible, right? But so many people treat it either as a fact or like that they're the ones who thought of it. Because I see it like every single day. I go on Twitter and search Metroid Prime 4, and there's just a dozen new people that are like, guys, I think it's coming out on the Switch 2, actually. I cracked the code. I think it's coming out on the Switch 2. It's just flooded with that, and it's driven me slowly insane.
Yeah, a lot of screaming gifs from on the timeline.
Just because, like, as far as we know, the game is still in development for the Switch, and they're treating it as such. You know, they don't have the console listed as to be determined or whatever. Every time you see the game in like a investor meeting or whatever, it's always like, yep, we're developing it for the Nintendo Switch. Another thing, Metroid is not a big franchise.
Yeah, I don't
So,
think
like-
it would, like, it's not gonna be like Zelda numbers of, we
Yeah.
gotta get the next Switch for,
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it
The-
could be because Metroid Dread and Prime sold well, but even that, they didn't sell
Yeah.
as well as, like, Zelda, so.
No, not even close.
They're
Like,
not system.
Dread-
Metroid's not a system seller.
Exactly. So Dread, fantastic game. My favorite game that came out the year that it came out, obviously. But like, it only sold 3 million copies. And that's like really good for Metroid. And it's the highest it's ever sold. But that's less than Wind Waker sold, you know?
Yeah.
Like that was like
Metroid's one of those franchises that's like, that's a pie sweetener.
Yes. Yeah. So like when it gets through and you're like, oh my god, that's crazy. Like same thing with Xenoblade, same thing with Fire Emblem. If those get over 1 million copies sold, you're like, holy crap, it's doing crazy. You know, because I remember back in my day on the GameCube and Wii, those Fire Emblem games selling like 50,000 copies. So, you know.
Yeah, and even that sounds like it's an impressive number for a niche tactical RPG series
Yeah.
that only just recently started getting translated into the West.
Yeah. So like, I guess what I'm saying is I'm not denying that Prime 4 is being held off the Switch. I just think it's like severe cope that it's going to be a launch game. It's going to rocket Metroid into like this new era of untold popularity. We're going to get a movie.
What?
You know, all this
People
stuff
say
like on the Switch. You know, I think what's more likely is that when Nintendo said, oh yeah, Tears of the Kingdom is the last big game on the Switch.
Wait, they did say that?
Yeah, they said that, but it's like that's because they don't consider Pikmin 4 a big game. And they probably
I keep
don't
forgot
consider-
Pikmin 4's coming out soon.
Yeah, they probably don't consider Prime 4 a big game just based on the evidence of maybe it will be a big game, but like to them, like if Tears of the Kingdom being it doesn't mean like there's no new games coming out on the Switch, and the Switch 2 is right around the corner. You know, it
And
just
even
means that-
then, there is a distinct possibility that the Switch 2 is just an iterative upgrade, similar to like PS4 Pro.
I think that's entirely possible because like if they can't, like Nintendo likes to just throw the baby out with the bathwater when they change consoles. So like, but the Switch is so popular, and
It's the
prints
best-selling
money.
Nintendo console now.
Yeah, it's like nearly the best-selling console of all time.
And if
like,
you look at what they're basically competing against, Switch isn't competing against the Xbox. It's not PS5. It's the Steam Deck. It's the ROG fucking their handheld thing that they just came out with. And basically, Switch is only a little underpowered compared to those. You just need a little bit of an iterative bump to hit Steam Deck levels, and then it's already competing on good playing field again.
I think so too. Like, I don't necessarily think a Switch 2 quotes is going to be like a PS5 that's portable. I think they would.
No way, bro. No, bro, the PS5 is already having problems running games. Like,
that's true. Yeah,
I just hope they call it the Switch U.
That, you know what? That would be.
Go old school, Super Switch.
Switch 60. But
no, Switch 69.
Yeah,
right,
baby, that's what I've been waiting for. That's what it's all about.
Also, I see Boingo finally colored stuff in. Looks nice.
Yeah. Boingo did some amazing Metroid art while we recorded. Basically,
I
point is,
wouldn't call it amazing.
no, it is amazing. Don't hurt yourself.
I missed it for a long time because I've been dipping in and out because my stomach is rebelling against the rest of my body.
Oh, I'm so sorry, mate. But yeah, I mean, you're not missing too much. Those. We're talking video games, and I know you're a bit like hit and miss on video games. So.
Well, the show must go on.
Yeah.
But I definitely think like there will be an iterative Switch. It's they're just gonna make it like maybe as powerful or maybe just a little bit more inspect than a Steam Deck.
Yeah. And I think it's sooner rather than later. I just don't think we're gonna get an announcement like this June or this July.
I mean, it is June at the time we're recording this.
Yeah, that's true. Like because people are saying like, oh, there's gonna be a Nintendo Direct in July, and that's when it's gonna be shown.
Why would they announce it at a Direct and not an in-person event?
Yeah.
Well, because the big in-person events are kind of out the way. They're not on the way out.
Yeah, and even then, the Switch was announced on a YouTube video randomly in October. I remember I was like losing my mind in like an English class when the Switch was revealed. It was crazy.
Oh, I guess I forgot about that.
Yeah. That's true, but they also like the NX was a known quantity before.
Yeah,
they revealed
we
the
know
Switch.
about like NX, but like so we know like something was gonna get revealed, and then it was like, wow, Nintendo.
Yeah, because like Square Enix said like, yeah, we're making a new Dragon Quest for it,
and it was just a port of 11.
Yeah,
I mean, 10. Hey,
11's great. 11's great. I'm not gonna
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was just like an enhanced port of 11.
Yeah, I know that came eventually. Wasn't that like 2019? Because 11 was 2018.
Yeah, probably they were
did
developing
they
at the same
all
time.
The way? I think they did because 2016 was the 30th anniversary of the series.
Oh, it came out 2019.
Yeah, and then they announced 11 then in 2016, and then it took
because it came out originally on systems 2017. The version on Switch is the enhanced edition, the definitive edition.
Yeah, and then they also ported that back to like PS4 and Xbox.
Yeah,
I just played the original version of 11
with the shitty music.
Yeah, with the shitty music.
I hope 12 has good music now that you know who is dead.
Yeah, that fucking.
Here's the thing: the music isn't bad. It's just the shitty composition. That
they use midis.
He lets the game companies.
Yeah, the freaking.
Frick
Sugiyama.
I'll correct and say that the composition is solid, but the instruments are
the production.
Yes, like the MIDI instruments are bad. Or just like really cheap sounding. It's very uninspiring, and they just music from older Dragon Quest games, so it just
there's only like 10 tracks in the whole 100-hour RPG, from what I heard.
Oh, it's like I love 11. I think it's like
11's really good.
Best, I mean, possibly the best Dragon Quest game, at least one of the best RPGs. You know, But Dragon Quests are like, you get me on a certain day, I'll say 5 is better, but 11 is very, very good.
I mean, 5 is kind of one of the most innovative Dragon Quests, so I wouldn't blame you.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though. I'm an S&T slut, so like, if you ask me what's the best JRPGs, Shin Megami Tensei stuff.
Yeah. I mean that it's among. Not.
Oh, speaking of Boingo, how are we feeling about the Persona stuff? I know you're more of a.
It looks like a cool update for people who are not for the people who want the fully formed features of Persona Fez without going through the menus of Persona Portable.
Oh, does it
Yeah.
have the
like-
answer and stuff in it?
We don't know yet, because technically by the time we're recording this, it's been leaked by like Atlas's Instagram and not officially
Right.
revealed. By the time
That's
it will be,
true.
it's getting officially revealed like by the time you're seeing this. But like,
I
we don't-
mean, pure functionality, this may be the Persona 3, like how Persona 4 had a gold version.
yeah,
Mhm.
like because like 3, like Fez was just kind of let's fix this shit because the original 3 was clunk as hell.
Mhm.
So it'll be nice to get like, okay, this is
And
like
yet-
maybe better content than the answer, because I heard the answer
And yet
wasn't
it
that
still
good.
didn't have party command until portable.
Yeah. Well, like the leak trailer showed party command, so
Yes,
that's good.
yeah.
but
And then
yeah, I'm
I
there's
really
will.
excited.
I will still say that having AI party companions in Persona 3 fits the theme of like having to deal with other people.
Sure.
I
That's-
can see that, but like
Totally.
also
It's not
like
implemented well. There should have been like a more robust strategy system.
I like that because, like, we were talking about Dragon Quest, but those games, they often have cumbersome gameplay elements that only exist to, like, tell a story, essentially, like, through the gameplay. And that's, to me, that's what's so, like, innovative
like the
about,
talk
like,
element in 5.
yeah, like,
Well-
Dragon Quest 4, I think, like, amazing storytelling from an NES game. Like, I can't believe
SNES, I think it was it SNES or NES? I forgot.
what.
The 4, I think
4 was on
NES.
NES.
Oh,
And
you
then
sure?
5
Yeah.
was the first Super Nintendo one.
Okay. I don't know
Final
why
Fantasy
people.
4 was on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for Shin Megami Tensei, the original Megami Tenseis were on NES, and then SMT was the first one on Super Nintendo.
Yeah, Digital Devil Star,
Yeah.
Devil Story.
Whatever
Yeah.
you call them.
They're just kind of like Megami Tensei because the Shin Megami Tensei is like, now this is our own story. It's new goddess revival.
Yeah.
baby.
That fits with like the whole like naming scheme. All the Super Nintendo games have been like Super
Yeah.
Castlevania, Super Mario. That's a terrible example.
Because
What
you're
if
Super
it- what if
Mario.
they
well,
It
named
was
that
done.
always Super Mario.
What if it was Super Mario?
Oh, that would have been really
Yeah,
funny.
Super duper man.
Super
Yeah.
Mega
Yeah.
Mario.
No, that was in I can't remember time subs or whatever for there's the mech Chocho Tokyo Dio, and they translated that because it's supposed to be a train choo but Chocho is like super. But so they translated to Super Duper Tokyo
That's
Dio.
cute.
Like
I mean,
that's
that
a very
fits
cute
the
way
children.
yeah.
The child theming of that show. Actually, like, speaking of Tokyuger, that fits something well with Vax doing something like Vax doing later this month, but I won't say.
Cool.
Yeah. Trying to think what else. I don't know. I guess
Yeah,
summer,
those-
like God Summer Games Fest happened, so we had those like Persona and like
had some
Sonic to
some
talk
games.
about.
The,
I mean, there's
I
probably
haven't-
gonna be more revealed. Apparently, a Jet Set Radio is gonna get revealed at like now that the Persona
That'd be
3
cool.
remake's
Yo,
confirmed.
what?
Jet Set Radio is coming on Xbox.
The only Jet Set Radio I care about is Bomb Rush Cyberpunk.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's gonna be that's super
I-
exciting. Like I do we have a release date for July or September? I forgot.
Let me look real quick.
Yeah.
I think it's still listed as future on Steam.
Interesting.
Because here's the thing, all that information was like Jet Set Radio references.
Yeah. And also like they revealed the release date at a Nintendo.
Yeah, summer this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Very-
a few like indie games I'm really excited for this year.
August.
Okay, August. Yeah, okay, that's very soon.
Uh,
What indie games are you excited for this year, Wyatt?
Like the Plucky Squire is a big one.
Oh yeah.
that I'm,
that looks cute.
I'm super excited because I love 2D Zelda. And then like 2D Zelda that then becomes like a weird third person like platforming game like Toy Story 2 or whatever is
Like that what's it? I forgot what it's called. The one that was showed at the Xbox show. There's a lot of games that I forgot.
Yeah. But there's that. There's like probably Eiyuden Chronicles is like what I'm most excited for because I love the Suikoden game.
Yeah.
Or at least the first two. I haven't played any other ones. But the first two Suikoden games, very, very good. And so Eiyuden Chronicles, excited for that. Also excited for the first 2 Suikoden games to come.
Oh
to
yeah,
modern
like
consoles.
Konami's actually doing shit with that.
Yeah, it's
franchise.
Konami remembered at some point that they made video games.
Yeah, now they're
And
trying to
they've-
like get back into it with
Yeah,
like their old
they've been-
franchises, and it's been
Yeah.
weird. I feel like everyone's not ready. I mean, especially with the Blooper Team Silent Hill, nobody's ready to accept them back.
Exactly. I feel like they're either doing like retro compilation,
Which I
or
like.
yeah, which I do enjoy, and then they're also doing weird and stuff, or
Yeah.
like the Silent Hill, and then Metal Gear Solid 3.
Yeah, Konami just needs to make their own like KOF 14, just a
Yeah.
full on hey, we made this business mistakes. We're back in video games.
Yeah.
Here's a big franchise.
Yeah.
Here's us putting our foot back into it.
But
Saudi
like, I don't
Arabian
think
prince
Silent Hill 2
bought
by
us.
Blooper Team's gonna be the one, fellas.
Yeah, I mean, like same thing with like I'm not very excited about MGS3, like a
Yeah.
remake of that. 'Cause I love MGS3, but like it just feels like a weird.
Why
Like,
that
all
one?
of
Why not
them?
one?
Yeah, I guess because it's the earliest
You know-
in the timeline, but like
No, you know what would have been the best one? You remake Metal Gear 1 and 2
yeah,
with-
yes,
to make it comparative to the rest of the Solid series.
yeah, I would say like I would even just accept Metal Gear 1 and 2 in the style of like the Suikoden 2, like or the Suikoden 1 and 2
That
HD
would be
things,
sick.
where it's like the HD 2D style, maybe not like
Oh,
that
that would be so
extreme.
Like Octopath.
Yeah, like maybe not quite that, but like, you know, better pixel art than the MS2, like MSX2 and things like that.
I mean, they got a lot out of that system
Yes.
for its time.
Those are gorgeous games for being 8-bit games. But,
Eight
like,
8-bit cheap PC games.
yeah. But yeah, I would like that, or yeah, I would say like it doesn't even need to be anything crazy. Just like a cheaper kind of thing that's like adapting those two games so it's easier for
Yeah.
play them and like get those like parts of the story.
I love how, like, just like speaking of Konami, I love like when the MGS3 remake got announced, Kojima was just like, "Hey, I got some food." Like he didn't even mention it any time. He just I got some out to do, and it was great.
Yeah. MGS3, aka the last time he cared about making a Metal Gear game.
I mean, I think he cared with 4 and 5. It's just
I
more
think,
of like
yeah.
he would have
That-
rather have had those been like spin-off stuff that another team made and not
Yes.
him have to make it.
Yeah,
I do
like
like-
four felt
Yeah, I
like
do
I,
like
don't
this
know what to do. Like, man, just let me throw a bunch of shit to the wall.
Yeah, 4 at the time it felt very like cynical, but not in a like in an intentional way, not in a
Yeah, just like just here you go. I'm done.
Yeah, it's very similar to MGS2, like a little bit more bitter. Or MGS2
Yeah.
is like, why do we need a sequel to this game? Why can't we just go do something else? Okay,
Yeah.
whatever. Here's Metal Gear again, and then
Oh, Metal
Raiden-
Gear.
Yeah, and then Raiden is tripping.
I
over
mean,
his
at
face
least
for the
like we
entire
got
game.
like if the
There's,
developments in
they
4
did it
gave us
thematically interesting.
yeah,
Yes.
and also just
Yeah.
we got Rising out of the aftermath of 4. And that's one of my favorites. So
Oh my god, I love.
yeah, legit. I'm so glad the memes prompted me to play it because Rising is so
Yeah.
fun.
I mean, that's the point of Rising.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is how
It's the
information
meme.
just travels.
Yeah, and it's
Mhm.
very kind of poetic in a
Yeah, it
sense.
was
How
one
like
of the last games I played in high school, 2013. So yeah, that's like it has like that kind of like I think of like the summer after school, playing that game. So it has like
Yeah.
it's very weirdly nostalgic.
Yeah, no, my memories of like gaming in high school was all Wii.
yeah, the Wii
I
was
did-
the
I-
Wii.
I didn't have a 360. I didn't have a PS3.
Yeah,
So
I think like I got a PS3 probably I want to say that was and then I didn't get a 360 until like after the Xbox One came out. I
What
could buy
rough.
it and I could buy it for like $50 or whatever.
Yeah. I'm so
So-
glad they updated the newer Xboxes with like 360 compatibility. That's cool. More
Yeah.
more. I wish like I know that's a very Xbox Microsoft. We have the money to do that kind of thing, but
They
like
should
more
just-
developers should do that.
it's
Why can't I play my
ridiculous that-
PS1 discs on my PS5?
I can take my copy of Panzer Dragoon Orta from the original Xbox and play it on Xbox Series X, but I can't take Final Fantasy X and play it on my PS5.
Yeah,
So,
not optimal.
I mean, you can do anything. You just have to imagine it hard enough.
you know what?
I'll
put
take
on an
it.
eye
eye
think about
patch.
it
Put
that
on an
way.
eye
Yeah.
patch.
Emulation for life. Yeah, legit. Emulation's actually like people like just emulation just has made me discover so many cool games. I mean, that's how I was able to play
Yeah.
Rifle Schools for the first times.
Yeah, I remember back in like when I first discovered emulate 2000 like that, and just being able to play, like, it was blowing my mind that I could play Minish Cap for $0 on my computer. And like that's how I played that game for the first time.
And then like all the Pokemon games, and
I mean,
then like ROM hacking.
Yeah.
I am a firm believer in gaming being much more open, considering the fact that one of the upcoming podcasts, I'm forcing the other three to play Doom 1.
Yeah.
And we're using its source
Oh
code.
fuck! I still gotta play Doom.
Have you read Masters?
No, I've been meaning to, but
Really
I've
good
seen
book.
so many videos that source Masters of Doom. I
Yeah.
feel like I have read it.
Yeah. It's a really awesome, like, because you really get into the mind space of what like douchey like 20-year-olds, you know, like John Carmack and
Johns.
John Romero, like how annoying they must have been to be around. You know, reading it, it's like really fun to like be in that mind space.
Doom feels like it's legit, like a band making one of the quintessential albums of all time, but they were all 20-year-old chuckle fucks who didn't realize how impactful what they were making was, and then it just ruined them.
Yeah, because like the section where it's
You
talking
mean
about
Doug
the development of
Walker?
Quake. Yeah, well,
God
I
damn
mean-
it!
There is a darker timeline where the id guys fucking turned into Nirvana, and one of them just couldn't handle it. There is a darker timeline.
that is true, because the Quake stuff is like really depressing. Like that part of the book, extremely depressing to read. Just like how the mighty have fallen. And Quake is an amazing game. Don't get me wrong, but like the development, it's so sad to read about.
Quake is one of the most important video games to have been made purely for the technology that other people have worked onto.
Yeah, and it really Ion
Multiple
Storm,
friendships.
And people say Mario Party ruins friendships. Nah, man, you got nothing on Quake.
Yep.
And
I
then
like
John
Quake
Romero's
routes. I
gonna,
think they're very delicious.
John Romero's gonna make you his bitch.
Yeah. Oh, Daikatana,
'cause he-
baby!
Like he had to he pulled out the rug from under Daikatana and then was like, we got to make it exactly like Quake, and then it like tripled the production time. It like took
Apparently the Game Boy Color game was kind of good.
well
because
Zelda
he-
style.
Yeah, he farmed it out. He didn't farm it out. He was like, I like these
Outsourced
guys.
it.
I like these guys. I like what they do. I want them to do.
Yeah, like Romero has an interesting like end to his story arc where he starts to like work on like a lot of little games. You know, he starts doing.
I think Romero's still fine. Carmack heard
Romero-
terrible things.
Romero's the one guy, other than like maybe Tom Hall and like some of the like artisty people like American McGee and like that, who came out of id pretty good.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
know
think-
Carmack is kind of these days.
I mean, he's like he's a libertarian guy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That should say enough about. He like got married to his girlfriend because through Ayn Rand. Like they connected through Ayn Rand.
Abort.
Yeah, like, oh, my favorite book's Atlas Shrugged, and yours is too. Let's like.
We should definitely procreate now.
Yeah.
And it's a shame because he is one of the most important video game programmers, period.
Yeah.
It's like always sucks when like important fellas decide, hey, I'm gonna make everything uncomfortable around me.
Yeah, did you guys see the Jason Font shit going around today?
I've known about that for a while.
I don't know
okay.
what you're talking about.
That was like
explain
Power
it off
Ranger,
mic.
Power Ranger actor do bad shit.
Okay, that's all you need to know.
I've known about that for a while. I don't know why that's such a big deal.
I know.
I it's probably just like it got widely known today.
Which Ranger? Wait.
Time Force Red.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay, can I actually let me tell the story because it does have kind of a hilarious ending.
Okay.
Sure.
So people went into his following and his liked tweets today and found him interacting with a bunch of alt-right dickheads covertly, like DeSantis and Shapiro and them. And people were spreading this around all morning and afternoon. Like, I can't believe this. I can't believe this guy is into this stuff. He's always been so nice and accepting at the conventions. And then, friggin' about an hour or two, or no, it was like a few hours ago now. Erin Cahill, who played Time Force Pink, she just posted like a happy pride photo of her in like all rainbow get-ups and whatnot.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Like,
I
yeah, some
don't
of
know. I don't
those-
really
think-
care about actors like doing bad shit. If it's like writers or directors, I'm like, that makes it a bit more uncomfortable. But actors, they're just they're weirdos anyway, celebrities and shit. Yeah.
You know,
it's
you gonna
like
watch
kind
the
of a-
Japanese dub of Across the Spider-Verse special?
No, I'm only listening to the new Lisa song they're putting out because I did like the Japanese song they did for the first movie with Teak from like the Tokyo Ghoul guy, and it's like that was like.
Apparently I found something weird in like the Brazilian, like the
Oh yeah,
Brazilian
they just got YouTubers.
Yeah, they get like Brazilian Portuguese YouTubers to voice some of the characters. They get a streamer who did like some weird fucking shit bragging about his bed for Spectacular Spider-Man. And now there's a Brazilian meme of Spectacular Spider-Man crying over his bed like it's a canon event.
That's
Whoa.
great.
It's just like that
is the deep lore.
Man, God, I've been loving all the memes of Spider-Verse. Most of them, some of them are obnoxious, but like, it happens. But
That's
the most obnoxious one, Miguel O'Hara being fucking racist.
Why is that a thing? I thought people were being racist towards him.
Because people misunderstand what the whole point of everything, and they recognize that the plot line with Miguel O'Hara is referencing real life things. But they don't realize that it's just referencing. It's not one-to-one.
Yeah,
so they're going like, "Oh, Miguel O'Hara is racist." It's like, no, his name is Miguel O'Hara.
Yeah, is that
and even that? He's
like,
just it's weird.
Very similar to like the Zorro is racist. Or whatever,
yeah, which is just like pure happenstance and like it's just funny.
Yeah.
Zorro is
funny
racist.
in like. It's funny in a somewhat sense, but not like when you're trying to make it like this is the character. It's like when you're joking around with pals, fine, but when you're trying to make like a serious point, guys, this is just a joke.
Same thing with like Frieza.
Oh yeah,
it's like
that's funny with like the pals, but like don't actually make it part of his character.
Because like as soon as you start to look into it, it's like, look, if you're saying like, oh, you're trying to like seriously analyze Frieza as a searing indictment of races, like really, because the Saiyans were quite bad.
Yeah.
So like, are you saying that? Like is an indictment of racism. Those poor Saiyans, they didn't deserve to die,
And even then, Frieza's already a perfect indictment of what he is, which is a real estate developer.
Exactly. Play Yakuza 0.
Yeah, Yakuza. I need to get back to it. I played like the first 2 chapters, but then like I stopped.
Yeah,
I was like, that happens with all the Yakuza games. Like I always start them and then I don't them.
That was the first Yakuza game I played.
Yeah, that was the first for a lot of people.
Yeah, because I knew about the series, for years, but like that was the first one, like, oh, it's in the bubble era. That's really cool. I want to, check that out. And normally I like when I do prequels, like I don't like to play, like when I'm playing a game that takes, I don't like doing it chronologically. I like to do it in release order.
But like even out of the Kiwami remakes, they basically just be like play freaking.
Yeah,
because they made a new release order.
Yes, exactly. So like for those like the Yakuza games I played were 0, Kiwami, and Kiwami 2. And I haven't played any of the other ones yet. I do want to play them. I played a little bit of 7 and really enjoyed it, but never got around to finishing
7.
it.
I love what I've played of 7. Is like it might be my favorite game when I get around to finishing it. Because Ichiban is just totally like that's my guy,
And I just love
Fujiyama Ichiban?
No, Ichiban Kasuga, I think is his last name.
Yeah.
From Yakuza.
He's the Yakuza guy with the very, very curly hair.
He's the what's the actor Eric Andre of the Yakuza.
Yeah.
I randomly DC it's because my phone died.
Oh,
that's fine.
Bird up.
Well, I mean, it is past 11 now. This is later than we usually go. And
that just shows how much fun we're having.
Yeah, Wyatt, you're a good old boy. I appreciate having you around, even though if I couldn't be around for the whole time, because my bladder hates me.
Do you have anything else you want to say to him before we head out?
Yeah, let's do a final, super hard-hitting, must-ask question for Wyatt right now. Okay, this is going to define the entire episode and your future relationship with Modular Media. Who is best pony?
Rarity. Easy.
My fucking man. Oh my god. This is on every episode of Components from now on. We found our next member.
Yeah,
This
that's
guy.
the easiest question of my fucking life. Rarity's one of the best characters in cartoon, I'll say.
Hell yeah. Hell fucking yeah.
That
Rarity
being
was
said,
yeah, I liked her.
all of the I love all of the mains, but
Mhm.
like Rarity just so funny. Tabitha St. Germain is just like one of the funniest
Mhm.
voice actors around. Like every time, like, have you seen there's a leaked like behind the scenes thing where it was like
Ooh.
some or not behind the scenes, but like they're in the
Recording
booth,
session.
and there's some like bloopers, and she always, like, when she flubs a line, she always swears, but she always maintains the character voice afterwards. So it's like there's a
So you
ton
can hear
of
Rarity say fuck.
yes, and like Granny Smith saying ball sack and things like that. Just like a lot of really funny stuff like that. So
Oh, I'll have to look that up.
but,
Oh, there's something similar like that to Steven Universe with Amethyst.
Yeah.
yeah.
That makes
Yeah,
100% too much sense.
Yeah, because there's the Mackenzie Atwood, friend of the show,
Ooh.
made the secret rap career of Pearl, or Pearl's secret rap career, whatever, those like series of videos.
Yeah.
They also did the Steven Universe podcast. For
Yeah,
a
I
few
remember
years.
listening to that back in the day, honestly.
Yeah, like that was awesome. I was so glad to be able to
Yeah.
like, because that was when I started working my janitor job, and it was a nice like thing to have while I was doing menial labor. Now I just listen to audiobooks though, so just finished.
I go back and forth. I listen to podcasts
Yeah, me
and
too.
audiobooks. It just
Like-
depends on what I'm in the mood for. Like I'm listening. I did just get through a bunch of podcasts, and then on Friday I started I think it's the 4th Dune book. No, it's the
nice.
5th actually. Heretics of
Yeah.
Dune.
He's
Is
getting
that-
ready for Doom 2.
Frank Herbert, he's still alive at that point, right?
I think there's 6 or 7 books that are written by him.
Yeah, and then his son like ruined it, or like I only have the first one, so that's my only connection to Dune. I want to get around to the other ones, but the thing I just finished listening to was for Crows, Song of Ice and Fire book, which I thought was like really good, but it did feel really low key after the third one, which was with the Red Wedding and stuff like that. And there was no Tyrion in the 4th book, so I was
Wow.
like, what the fuck? The best.
I have
character.
not engaged with Song of Ice and Fire, Game of Thrones on any level, so
You should.
Yeah.
I hugely recommend. Especially like those first 3 books were excellent, and the 4th one's still really good. It was just like
How many
lot more
books, like,
low-key.
are we waiting for the 5th book right now?
there is a 5th book. The 6th book, Winds of Winter,
Is the one
what
we're
we're
waiting for. Yeah.
And then there's a.
does it
7th
have a
book,
release date
supposedly.
yet?
No. And
God damn
book
it.
5 came out. When book 5 came out, the HBO show just began. So
Oh.
Oh,
like, that's
fuck.
how long. That is how long people have been waiting. Winds of
No.
Winter.
Did
But
someone
yeah,
just
so-
spill a drink on their desk?
No, it's metal comb.
Oh,
But
okay.
yes, Rarity is the best pony. So there you go. I think that's a wrap, right?
Yeah, that's
Want me to-
excellent. Why don't you go ahead and plug your shit? Tell people where they can check you out on the internet.
All right, go check me out at twitter.com/Wasp Ranger. That's WAZ Ranger. Mostly just stream of consciousness stuff, but I always try to keep my most recent videos pinned at the top of my page. You can check it out there. You can check out the page for a lot of like stream of consciousness takes, a lot of like occasionally updates on what I'm working on. If you're curious about my personal work, then go on over to It's Only Magic, youtube.com. Do a cartoon retrospective, sometimes on internet ephemera like Homestar Runner, things like that. I do plan to make more videos in the future. It's just been kind of a hard year, mentally and everything. And last year, I took a lot of time to write. Like I've been writing a lot, like not videos or books.
Yeah.
And as far as podcasts go, there's me and Buster. We would
Right.
podcast Turbo together. That should come out every other week.
Yeah, I should say I've been listening to that pretty regularly, keeping up with it. Having not seen OKKO, it's a solid listen.
That's great to hear. I love that. I want to get people who aren't really familiar with the show to come on and just like do a couple episodes, because it's like I think
Yeah.
it's a show that can appeal to anybody who just
Yeah, it's very
loves-
episodic and like.
Well, I
like
mean,
an-
hit me up at some point. We'll see if we can work something out.
Know
Thumbs up.
what? OKKO would have been a really good fighting game.
Absolutely.
Oh, 100%, 100%.
I have said that like almost every episode, Boingo.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I mention it being a toy line quite frequently too.
Yeah,
in the,
me too. I think I'm the one who started that like gag, where it's like,
yeah.
man, this would have been a great toy line.
But
Make it like Power Stone.
the other stuff though, like if you want to check out all the old Discuss All Monsters stuff, that's easily findable on the internet. And check out some Explode When Defeated stuff on the Patreon. Hopefully that's all unlocked, you know, if you go to the Patreon and check it out, like just like join, and then, you know, I won't charge you any money, just like whatever, go and check that stuff out. But if you're curious about where to find me in the future, like if you were a fan of Discuss All Monsters and you want a similar type of show to that, me and my friend Cody are planning, and this is again very tentative, nothing's set in stone yet, but we are planning Stephen King podcast talking about all of the adaptations of Stephen King stuff, because him and I are big fans of King, and I've been reading through The Dark Tower this year, and so yeah, we want to starting with Carrie, just going book
Release
by
order.
book. Yeah, just like going and doing all the adaptations of like each of the things, very similar to Discuss All Monsters, but like, you know, this was like Godzilla, huge series, a ton of spin-offs, a ton of like extended universe stuff, very long, but it has like there's a finite end there. Stephen King is almost like infinite. There's so many.
I mean, adaptations still keep getting today.
Yeah. Like
you're gonna be stuck until that man drops.
Yes.
And even and you got a while to go.
So yeah, we want to do that because we have we've been friends forever. And we have a really good rapport. He's one of my best friends, you know, so and we have a fun time with the podcast that we have done together. He was on the Ava podcast that we did, the original series and End of Evangelion. And the episode that we did, it was me, Nikki, Cody, and Toby Jones did an episode on End of Evangelion. That's one of the best podcasts I was ever a part of. It was a lot of fun, a lot of good discussion. I got to talk about Cum with one of my favorite cartoon creators.
Excellent. Every one stream right there.
So
that happens because I'm friends with a bunch of webcomic artists, and like that's the word that will always get them. It's just like you just get into voice call and just yell "cum."
You know, I'm surprised.
Crack up.
We brought him up earlier. I'm surprised nobody, because he's primarily known for Transformers. I'm surprised nobody has asked Aaron Archer about the Rise of the Beast trailer line, "Let them come." Yeah,
that's I love that line so much. The like somebody taking from Bumblebee and also that trailer, like the "I coming" and then "Let them come."
Yeah,
that's funny.
Yeah,
I think the Cyberpunk 2077 oddly started that meme, so I guess CD Projekt Red did something cool besides Edge Runners. Well, even then that was more Trigger, so.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they've updated Cyberpunk.
Yeah, it's fine now.
There are fans, like I know some people who are like, oh yeah, no, it's good now, or like, oh, I was always.
This podcast has been ending for 20 minutes.
That's true.
That's what happens.
to our life.
I'm sorry.
So where can people find you on the internet?
Yeah, so yeah, the Wasp Ranger, Twitter.com, It's Only Magic, YouTube.com. There you go. That's where you can find me. Look out. Hopefully that Stephen King podcast, tentative name, Child Roland to the podcast comes, you know, so maybe I'll think of a better one, but that's a reference to the song or the poem that inspired Dark Tower. So very nerdy, but that podcast is going to be really nerdy. We'll probably do that after we finish Robots in Disgust, which we still need to do. We just finished The Last Night, which is the 5th movie, one of the worst movies that I've ever seen.
Oh, it is
100%.
actual garbage.
Yeah. And then and then we are doing Bumblebee, which I've heard
It's
very
a
good
palate
things
cleanser.
about. And then like hopefully next weekend I can watch Rise of the Beast and then a podcast night. So that's all.
All right. Buster, where can people find you on the internet?
Oh, you can find me at youtube.com/BusterCorp. That's where you can find the podcast me and Wyatt do on OKKO. But you can also just find just a bunch of other silly little videos on things like Tokusatsu, not Pokemon. I haven't done a Pokemon video in a while. I don't know why I said Pokemon. Just you can find videos on things I like. Just mostly Tokusatsu. I need to branch out, honestly, but whatever. And then also at twitter.com/BusterBoy3, again, stream of consciousness, just me doing shit, funny gags, getting ratioed by fellas. It's all fun games, except when it isn't. So yeah, I think that's all I have to say.
All right, Snowcone, where are you? Like right now. Where are you? What's going on? Snow Cone?
Did he disappear?
All right, everybody go follow Snow Cone on Instagram at never_robot. He's on the social media either as at Snowcone83 or Snowburke83. It's all linked down in the video description. Boingo, who are you again? I've forgotten.
Hi, I'm Boingo. I do shit on the internet.
Oh.
I am a VTuber on Twitch. Boingo Writer. Twitch.tv/Boingo Writer.
I follow you all.
I stream on Monday, Thursdays, and Fridays, or at least I attempt to. Things can get in the way relatively easily. Play a variety of things, JRPGs, games I'm just interested in, so on and so forth. I post videos on YouTube at Boingo Writer. I have a weekly Common Writer Geeks review series. And I have other videos in the works and in the plan stage. So they'll come out eventually. You can also follow me on a variety of social media platforms at Boingo_Writer on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. And you can follow my Tumblr, which is linked down below in the description.
Excellent.
Nice.
I am Vac. I have barely been on this podcast because my stomach decided to try and kill me today.
You
I
had
say
a
that.
wumbly tumbly.
Yeah, I'll be fine. It's just, I've thrown up 3 times tonight, so that's been fun. But I probably won't edit this until tomorrow. I'm probably just gonna get off the call and go to bed in a minute here.
Sounds good.
But I'm the Vacuuminator. I make YouTube videos. They're things. You can find them at the Vacuuminator on YouTube. My newest video, by the time this comes out, will be a video talking about how fucking cool Wally West is, because The Flash is coming out, and I fucking hate Barry Allen. I think he's a boring piece of shit, and I hate that he's getting a big live action movie, and I hate that it's an actor who is a morally reprehensible person playing a superhero, and I hate that I have to see it to understand what's going to happen with my preferred comic group next in live action. But hopefully that video turns out well. Hopefully you people go watch it and like it. You can also see clips of my older videos on TikTok at _Vacuuminator. I have an Instagram where I post daily action figure photography at _Vacuuminator. And I have a Tumblr and a Twitter where all that stuff kind of congregates together, as well as like random thoughts and feelings on things. That's at the Vacuuminator on Twitter and thevacuuminator.tumblr.com. But folks, that is it for this episode of Modular Components. Thank you again to Wasp Ranger for guesting. Hopefully we can have you back on again sometime soon, because the bits that I was conscious for were pretty good. Yeah, that's all. Thanks everybody for listening. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. We'll see you back here in another week. Bye.